Happy New Year from Australia. My name is Jeannie Rose Anschwather and I'm a health advocate. Looking to the year ahead, I've written an article, When Your Heroes Are Villains. This was after sharing some time with other political commentators, health advocates and social activists. It lists the nefarious things that we have personally witnessed behind the scenes, and we'll have the reader ask the questions, the very important questions of the level of controlled opposition, paid operatives and actors within various movements, both current regimes, their opponents, as well as the media. From court cases that have been designed to fail, donations siphoned, con artists and grifters, and malignant narcissists preying on very vulnerable people, financially and even sexually. When I interviewed Professor Francis Boyle in 2024 for healthallianceaustralia.org, he said, "We are in the fight of our lives." And he was not wrong. He died in very suspicious circumstances in January 2025. Now, Boyle was a prominent human rights lawyer from America, an international law expert known for his work on war crimes, genocide, nuclear policy, and drafting the Biological Weapons Anti-Terrorism Act. We discussed, in his words, the Frankenshots and airborne aids. He just had an incredible way with words that was able to embody truth in very simplistic terms. To connect the dots between warfare, mind control and biological labs, you can also listen to other experts interviewed on healthallianceaustralia.org. This includes an interview with Professor Garth Nicholson, who is one of the most cited researchers in the world, who wrote a book based on his experience, and it's called Project Daylily, an American biological warfare tragedy, which details the origins of the Gulf War syndrome and the secret biological weapons research that was done on Texas prisoners. And part of that story was where Nicholson escaped for his life from Texas. So I've written a more informal style on my website, uncensoredwisdom.com, which includes my own journey using a holistic method to recover from severe heart failure, where my heart was at 15%. So a number of us activists have seen quite clearly the psychological warfare being waged on the public, how fear and hate is weaponized to create chaos, stress and absolute control. It is disturbing and also disappointing to see people who should know better fooled by similar scripts. But in reality, it's actually it's almost like the algorithm is sucking us into this digital void, and they call it doom scrolling. It's like they're telling you exactly what they're doing. We no longer want to participate in that world, and we feel, even though a lot of us feel like there's this pull to intervene, it's almost it almost takes over, that you feel like you need to comment on something or make a post about something. Even this particular article is kind of supposed to be my last hurrah on this particular subject, because there'll always be a new controversy. That is the nature of the beast system, and it's in a way it is actually a form of trauma bonding. 2025 was the year that I came full circle, and I recognised that the answer isn't out there, but within myself. I know that sounds a lot like a cop-out, but hear me out here. So one of the highlights of my year was when Elizabeth Glass healed herself from lymphedema by taking on board a number of things that we had done. We've recorded an interview which will soon be published, and there is actually a link to Elizabeth's write-up already on this particular article, so you can go to that right now and read it. So the irony of it was, only months previously we had made this call out to experts around the world because we observed a health crisis going on, and after testing had revealed in Elizabeth the presence of amyloidogenic fibrin likely caused by COVID infection and shedding, and for which there are currently trials in Japan using very expensive and invasive methods to deal with these clots. The good news is that Elizabeth was able to achieve results quite inexpensively with simply using the right information and sticking with it. She was able to cure her lymphedema, which is actually a chronic condition, lifelong, and for which there is no cure. Now, while the doctor has actually said, "I can't give you an official cure until you remain symptom-free for a year," he was absolutely stunned by the results and asked her to write up what she had done. Now, seeing her healed has really affirmed my own calling to continue in this health advocacy space, because if you don't have your health, what do you have? Almost 5 years on, and we are far from any real official disclosure, despite Boyle's lifelong work, despite Nicholson's work, despite the fact that embalmers are pulling out forensic evidence from 20% of corpses, it isn't enough to facilitate any change whatsoever. But I believe that death is its own leveller, and all of these things will become self-evident in time. But it's meaningless for the many that need answers today. And certainly those people who refuse to see will always deny what actually happened. So knowledge is the new gold, but people have to be prepared to dig it up themselves, refine it for their own lives. And healing is absolutely possible, but it's an individual choice. It's certainly not going to be something that the system will provide for you. And same goes with money and relationships. We can choose which businesses, organisations and individuals we support. We can shop local, we can use cash, we can buy direct from farmers, support regenerative and organic farming, and really do business with people we value and who have values that are aligned to us. The grass grows where it is watered and where our energy is directed. So that's where we've come to. We're at a pivotal moment in time, and there is, in fact, an energetic separation happening between those who embody love, kindness, compassion, value truth, connection and wisdom, and those who want to live in darkness, who want to keep on being attracted to hate, division and violence. And those two things can't coexist. So my article alchemizes darkness into light. It was a difficult write-up. It involved a lot of honesty from myself of what I've actually been through. And I really appreciate Mr. Madonna Santa's encouragement and feedback for improvements. It's now time to make positive changes rather than be in the anti-crowd. So enjoy the read and Happy New Year, everyone.